After the release of Super Mario Bros., the fireball shooting, Koopa kicking, Goomba stomping, princess kissing plumber is probably one of, if not the most recognisable characters in all of the gaming world. In a world where technology is always evolving with the introduction of VR and also fairly decent motion controls, how has the mustachioed mascot kept his reputation in good standing after nearly 40 years? It has to be said that the opening level of the original Mario Bros. Game is possibly still the most recognisable level of all time. Even with masterful games such as The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid and Breath of the Wild being full to the brim with creativity and innovation, it has to be said that the opening level to the original Mario Bros. Game is possibly still the most recognisable level of all time. With the thousands of levels created by Nintendo for our intrepid plumber to navigate his way through, it's safe to say that some have garnered a legacy of being, how do we put this politely, a bit rubbish. I'm not talking about frustrating levels such as Mario World's Tubular level or Mario 3D World's Championship Road. Those levels aren't poorly made, they're more of a test of skill for the completionists amongst us. When a stage is tricky because it requires precision and timing, then that's all good. When a stage is hard due to its imprecise controls or unfair mechanics, that's bad level design. I'm DNW84, and let's take a look at 7 of the worst Mario levels we've all suffered through. Okay, number 7. Loopdeswoop Galaxy, Mario Galaxy, what's the mantra with you? Super Mario Bros. Was revolutionary for its time. Because of the clearly defined controls, players are able to control how high and how far Mario jumps based on how hard the button was pushed. This is a universal concept nowadays, but somewhat more rare of a mechanic for its time. This is how the Mario franchise earned its reputation, so it seems a bit of a shame really when Mario games suffer from a lack of precision, and Loopdeswoop Galaxy is a prime example of this, where Mario has to ride a manta ray through a gravity-defying river. Mario Galaxy boasts some fantastic gameplay and fluid controls, however this level in particular, the manta ray is rather stiff to move. Think putting a toddler in a car seat. You tilt the controller one way and you barely get any movement. Other times the slightest movement will see you veer off course, which will usually result in a death. This more often than not can be attributed to the janky controls rather than the sloppy gameplay. But if you think you can take this level nice and slowly, well then my friend, you are quite clearly mistaken, because just to add salt into the wounds you've got a time limit as well, and this often forces you to rush through the level and take more risks than you normally would, which seems to be a bit unfair when the controls work against you. Number 6. World 6 Level 3. Take a Bullet for Bill. As Super Mario Bros. Is the most celebrated game of all time, shut up it is, and I'll die on this hill, come and fight me. Picking faults with this game feels somewhat blasphemous. This wasn't just a successful game, it was a game that caused the Western world to rekindle its love with the video games after the video game crash of the 80s, and helped make Nintendo a household name, and created the most recognisable character of all time. Given the time this game was released, this was pretty much perfect. Well, apart from one level. That seems to be rather lazy, either that or it's made by the work experience kid, and that level happens to be World 6 Level 3. The premise of this level is to jump from tall platform to tall platform, traverse the occasional scale lift to reach the flagpole. There are barely any obstacles, and this level can be completed in about 30 seconds. Well, I can't do it in 30 seconds. This is a rather short and easy level which is just one enemy. Yes, that's right, just one. And that is good old Bullet Bill. He'll spawn on one side of the screen and he'll try and hit Mario and knock him out of the sky, and it'll rinse and repeat. The only other obstacle you face is missing the platforms when you're jumping. I'm sure, given the tech available at the time Mario Bros. Was made, it was a challenge to create, but surely it couldn't have been that hard to have added in the odd Koopa or Goomba here or there for an added bit of challenge. Number 5. Tick-Tock Clock, Mario 64. Hickory dickory dock, you fell down the clock. Mario 64, again, one of the most influential platformers of all time. You can't deny how much it inspired other 3D games. Some may even call it the best game ever made. But let's not pretend that Tick-Tock Clock isn't a bloody nightmare. Not only is it the most difficult stage, it's also the most repetitive. Every time you bump into a pendulum, or mistime a jump, you will fall all the way to the bottom. There are two consequences here, not if, but when this happens. Either you die and are forced to climb the tower all over again, or you will hit a lower platform 300 foot below and are forced to climb the tower all over again. It's a no-win situation. In Mario 64 though, most levels subtly change depending on the mission that you choose. However, Tick-Tock Clock doesn't change regardless of the objective chosen, making this level even more repetitive. Probably the most frustrating moment is when those little black balls shoot fire at Mario, and when you do everything in your power to keep him from falling off the screen as he runs around hysterically. I can still hear those screams now, more than 20 years on. They are going to haunt my dreams until my dying day. Number 4, World 6 Level 5, Super Mario Bros. 3. How many Tuesdays, Sammy? At first sight, World 6 Level 5 seems like any other in Super Mario Bros. 3. You start on the left and work your way through the blocks and the enemies to reach the goal on the very right. But wait, when you enter the pipe at the end, it transports you back to the beginning. What the hell? Where do you go to get to the end? What you need to do is turn into Raccoon Suit Mario. Grab a Koopa Shell, run at top speed, jump, fly to the secret passageway above, kick the Koopa Shell at the wall on the right hand side to destroy the blocks and the munchers on the hidden ledge, and then into the pipe to reach the goal. The hardest part though is picking up enough speed to fly while you're dodging the enemies who are lobbing ice blocks at you. If the baddies hit you, you lose the Raccoon power up. No big deal, right? You can just get it again. It's time consuming, and sometimes if you're carrying the Koopa Shell and you don't get up there quick enough, the Koopa Trooper will respawn out of a shell, causing you again to lose the Raccoon power up, forcing you to do the whole scenario again. In at number 3, Rolling Coast Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Death. Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a major success and is one of the highest rated games on the Wii. Despite its success, however, it still had moments that caused the player to rage quit. In the Rolling Coast Galaxy, you need to jump on a star ball and tilt the control to roll it forward. You need to reach the goal while avoiding the pillars and the gaping holes, because you need to be precise how you maneuver the star ball. It's likely that you'll tumble off a couple of times. After you obtain the Power Star, you can redo the course, but this time you have to collect 100 purple coins to collect another Power Star. There are 110 purple coins in this stage, so you don't have to collect all of them, but because you can't slow down in the slide sections, nor can you revisit completed areas, you only have one chance to collect most coins. You move so quickly that you will fly off the course if you tap into any obstacle. Since you're against the clock, you have to zip through the path at top speed, giving yourself little time to strategize, which makes it far more likely that you'll plummet to your death. Number 2, World 7 Level 3, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, blasting off again! Although Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is infamous for its difficulty, there is one stage, however, that stands out for its brutal unfairness. In World 7 Level 3, you need to cross through tiny platforms by utilising the springs while dodging enemies. Now, if you jump on a regular spring, it elevates your character to the top of the screen, but this stage doesn't contain regular springs. Oh no, you see it's got super springs, and if you bounce on them, they'll hurl you so high you'll fly off the screen for about 10 seconds, which in Mario years feels like a bloody eternity. When one of these super springs casts you into the sky, you have to move to the right as quickly as possible to land on the next platform. When one of those super springs casts you into the sky, you have to move to the right as quickly as possible to land on the next platform. Since you can't see your character, you have to guess where you are when you're off screen, and when you're going to land. Just to make the experience a little bit more grueling though, there is a gust of wind that blows you to the right, making it much harder to control where you'll land. Just to add to the frustration though, there is a secret stage called C-3, which works the same as World 7 Level 3, except for it's got a little murderous Lucky 2 following you the whole time, making the gameplay even less fair. It's probably little wonder why we in the Western world were given a reskin of Doki Doki Panic and labelled as Mario 2. And number 1, Corona Mountain, Super Mario Sunshine. The final level of Super Mario Sunshine, Corona Mountain, is simultaneously too easy and too hard. You start inside a volcano where you have to time your jumps on spiked platforms whilst avoiding the lava. After landing in a small boat though, you need to propel forwards by shooting water in the opposite direction, and if you graze any of the hazardous stalagmites, the boat will sink, causing Mario to fall in the lava and die. As soon as you approach a column, you start to panic and try to move away from it, which usually makes the boat smack right into it. When you finally reach Bowser, all you have to do is super ground pound the 5 corners of the arena to defeat him. This fight is so easy, you'll assume that it's just the first phase of the epic battle, but it isn't. The entire fight can be won in less than a minute. Corona Mountain is so short, it feels as if the developers were rushed into making it. It's like they realised the final section was way too easy, so they inserted the unfairly difficult boat section at the last moment to make that stage more challenging. And there you go, that's my list. So do you agree with this list, or do you believe that there are any other levels that I may have missed? Please let me know in the comment section below. And if you have enjoyed this video, then great, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell as well, so you can be notified of when new episodes drop, and be sure to please check out some of my other videos as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!